Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. If this is your first time here, then welcome. I do TV reality show reviews with a lighthearted twist and a little bit of laughter. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, and share, and hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now let's get into it. Tonight we are reviewing Belle Collective Season 1, Episode 11, The Reunion Part 2, child. So as we know, last time we left off, we were talking to Kayla and Karen. When the reunion opens back up, we see Marie saying that there was audio that was released. So Antoinette starts saying, Dr. Antoinette Lyles didn't talk to any blogger. Did Dr. Antoinette Lyles talk to Antoinette? Okay, you're a doctor. Great. Awesome. I love it. Okay. But since when did you start referring to yourself as Dr. Antoinette Lyles? Honey, the whole season, you were just calling yourself Antoinette. I mean, I'm not understanding. And there is nothing wrong with her being a doctor before somebody comes for me and says, well, it's good that I am very happy that she is a black doctor, but the way she is saying it to me feels so condescending. Even as the reunion went on, she starts to say, I'm the only doctor up here. Okay, girl, well then you need to be on Married to Medicine, because this right here, everyone here is successful in their own right. Girl, cut it out. Child, I just can't stand Antoinette, honey. If you've been here for any of my reviews, honey, you know I do not see it for Antoinette because she carries around Kayla and Karen, and I am not here for it. Okay? Marie basically said all three of y'all are in cahoots, honey. All three of y'all did it. Not just Kayla and Karen. You did it too. So Egypt said, you went to the blogger? She said, I went to gather information. Okay. So the blogger already had info. And she told Antoinette, and Antoinette told Latrice. Okay. So Egypt said, what info? Kaylon said, well, she gonna beat my ass if I say what I know. Well, I'm glad you know, honey. And stop trying to act like Marie is just some big bad wolf and her finger waves are gonna attack you. You tried that same crap when y'all had that other episode before Tambria and Antoinette got into it. Talking about people taking off their shoes and their earrings. I just hate this. This is the thing. Okay. I know y'all are trying to do a formula here where you bring in a Caucasian lady. Okay. As you did on Real Housewives of Atlanta. This seems to be a Carlos King formula. Kim Zolciak did not come in creating unnecessary drama, making up stuff and making people seem like, her and Nene had a relationship from years past. So, of course, they had a tumultuous relationship. They were frenemies, honey, on and off and on. But at the end, behind it, it was all love. Kayla and Karen, you doing it in a different way, honey, and I don't trust nothing about you, okay? So then she was like, Marie said, well, whatever info she have, it better be certified for defamation. Marie, Lord, why did they give us this southern twang? Why can't we just speak? Why can't our dialect be clear, honey? Ooh, everybody needs closed caption, honey. Oh, my goodness. So, Marie letting her know, honey, don't come with nothing. If you don't know the facts, I might send you a cease and desist, okay? And you will be in court for defamation of my character. And you need to send one to that blogger, too, because, Marie, he halfway obsessed with you over there on that Facebook. Latrice said, I told her not to go. And she was like, didn't I tell you not to go? And then Kayla and Karen was like, yeah, you did. So Letitia says Latrice gave her info, and someone says that Glenn was supposed to have an outside baby. Egypt said, well, is that true? Who is the lady? So Letitia said, well, it's from an affair. And she said, is there a baby? There is a baby. Child, Marie started falling out. I was like, Marie, honey, you need to worry about all them kids Jerez got over there that's all under one. Honey, why you sitting up here falling out about her infidelity, child? Y'all got some skeletons in the closet over there on the Belle Collective, okay? So then Letitia said, next thing she knew, it was in the blogs. And so she said, Latrice, she said, I called Latrice and she told me it was Kaylon. Honey, Kaylon gave her a look like, oh, you did? Don't make me air everything out and tell her that it really was you and Antoinette. Honey, y'all go back. If y'all didn't see that part, go back and rewind and watch how Kayla and Karen looked at Latrice when Letitia said that. Y'all just look at them. So Kaylon said, well, it wasn't right what they did to Marie. Egypt said, to Letitia. Egypt said, but it was right about Marie. So then Kaylon said, well, Marie is still in federal money. Girl, that's not something you just say out loud, honey. You need to make sure you have actuals and factuals before you say some stuff like that. Marie said, look, I've been in business 20 years. Egypt said, well, I don't think you would be on TV. You wouldn't be here, if you were smuggling money. You would be in handcuffs. Now, Egypt, honey, I don't know about that, because Teresa and Joe Giudice over in Jersey on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, they were allegedly smuggling money, and they were on the set and on the scene each and every season till they got locked up separately. So, honey, the feds take a little while, okay? I'm gonna be rich if the feds watching. I'm just telling you, honey. I'm just telling you. So Egypt asked, do you believe the stories? And Latrice said, I could care less. I'm like, oh, child, okay. Marie said, well, God is taking me all the way to the top and ain't nothing can stop me. So then Egypt said, well, is there any truth to that? Marie said, I'm a medical provider. You don't think the government will audit my medical files? Then Letitia said, I just want everybody to protect the collective. Oh my goodness. Okay. Tambria said, Kaylon, you know what? I used to feel sympathy for you, but now after listening to how far you will go to bring another woman down, but in my mind, I was thinking that Tambria actually meant when I saw how far you would go to take a black woman down as a white woman, now I don't feel no sympathy for you, honey. And then so she said, well, I didn't try to bring her down. Tambria said, how did you not? Girl. Oh my goodness. So then she said, I was getting info for the defense, not the offense. Egypt said, oh, that's fair. No, that's not fair. That's a lie. Girl, because she was sitting here saying that she knew Marie was going to be coming for her and she knew Marie was going to be coming for Latrice. Girl, you interacted with Marie one time. So out of that one interaction, you think you on Marie mind all night long that she's going to sit up here and concoct a plan to bring you down? You're lying. Okay? You were trying to protect Latrice because y'all had became fast friends thanks to Antoinette. This is how I feel it went in my mind. Okay, this is just my opinion. I feel like Kaylon latched on to Latrice because she's friends by association. So since she knows Antoinette and Antoinette is in the middle, she found out what happened at the brunch. Then she interacted with Marie on her own. So she felt like, you know what? I'll do the dirty work. Especially since I don't want y'all to be suspected of doing it, honey. Child, I just don't trust Kaylon at all. So then in Egypt talking about, oh, that's fair. Thank you for being honest. Girl, please, honey, that's all a lie. And you can sit up there in your sequence dress and think it's true if you want to, honey. You clearly were not watching the season. So then Egypt was like, well, can we put it to bed? Antoinette asked, well, Marie, do you believe it was me? Marie said, I'm just going on the receipts. Okay, I don't know what's what, but I'm just going on the receipts. Then in the next segments, we see the guys come out. And Cedric was asked about Aruba because y'all know he liked to take his exotic trips. And he gonna say, she said, well, you went missing. You disappeared. You went to Aruba or was it Paris? You were just on a world tour. Cedric gonna say, Egypt, I'm a big fan of yours. Boy, that's not what she's asking you right now. Cedric was the star of part 2 of this reunion. Honey, I didn't think Cedric was gonna give me nothing, but he gave me something. Oh my goodness. So they show Marie's life with the men in her life. So Egypt asked Cedric about him being Jerez's father figure. He said his dad was his father figure. And I respected that. Cedric said, they have a non-traditional blended family. So it was kind of hard for him to discipline Jerez because, it was not the norm. So Egypt said, oh, okay, so you all have a non-traditional marriage. Cedric said, no, a non-traditional relationship. Egypt said, so y'all not married? Marie said, well, we were married, got divorced, got back together with the intent to marry. Marie, now you lying. Okay, listen, I'm objective. When you a lie, I'm going to call you a lie. Marie, they just flashed back to you saying that you and Cedric had got married, y'all got divorced, y'all got remarried. This whole season, we thought that y'all were married when you were in there crying with them finger waves on Essie's shoulder and putting 2 t-shirts in a box. We thought that you were married. Girl, if you don't go ahead, no wonder he was living in the separate house over there. That really wasn't a house he was living in because that house looked abandoned. Girl, oh my goodness. Okay. Marie, child, you like the lie. Egypt said, well, you went to Aruba, Cedric. I asked Marie. He said, I asked Marie a year in advance if she wanted to go, and she said no. So I took Dr. Chris. Now, what man y'all know gonna take another man to Aruba for 2 weeks? Honey, I ain't buying it, honey. I mean, what you doing out? Aruba is a place, you lay out and drink exotic drinks and have sex in the sand. Like, why are you taking Dr. Chris? Child, okay. So Egypt said, so you took a man and not a woman, right? He said, yes, that's correct. She said, well, I don't think Marie got that part. Marie said, well, I know how he is when he goes out on these trips. So then she starts to say when she got sick in 2016, she thought he was going to scale back a little. And so Marie said, tell her, Cedric, tell her the truth. Cedric said, first giving honor to God for allowing me to be here. Boy, if you don't, if you don't cut the benediction, sitting up here talking about first giving glory and honor to God. Okay, for you allowing me to be here, Egypt. And I just want to say how proud of you, Marie, that I am. I want to say that your growth level is on a 10. Egypt said, answer the question, Cedric. I have no idea what you're even talking about at this point, honey. He said, I'm going to get to you, Egypt. Just hold on a second. Cedric said, where were you? Cedric said, I'm just so proud of you. I'm your #1 supporter. I'm like, Cedric, please get to it. Then Cedric, she said, well, where were you when she was sick? Did you know she was sick? He said, yeah, I knew she was sick. She said, do you love her? He said, I will always have love for Marie. He knows she moved on and he knows she ain't moving on with him. So let's move on from that. Egypt said, well, I want to talk about Essie. Cedric said Essie and Marie already had a marriage before he even came along, honey. He couldn't even find a way to get in edgewise because they were so tight-knit. Egypt said, you mean a friendship, right? Egypt, you know what they saying over there on that Facebook, allegedly, from that blogger that Kaylon, Karen, Antoinette, and Latrice are all talking to, okay? So Essie said, she said, Essie said she was your soulmate, and you don't too much hear that from friends, but I understand where that would come from. Cedric was like, well, they had a bond, and I know I didn't need to move in, and I got moved in on when Essie came up, honey, because Essie gonna come first no matter what. Okay, no matter what's going on, Essie gonna be in the mix. Egypt, so then she said, well, Essie's coming out. Cedric gets up and moves to the other couch. Egypt said, why you move? Cedric said, I can't build anything with Marie that's intimate because of Essie. So I'm just gonna come on over here because I already know my role and I know my place. And so then Essie came out, sparkling in her all red. Essie said, because he was missing, she stepped in. And so then she asked Glenn, she said, Glenn, would you have a problem, with your wife being close-knit with another woman and you're not anywhere in the mix? Glenn said, well, he wouldn't mind, but he has needs. And Egypt said, yeah, we know, yams, okay? Then Egypt said, the viewers want to know if you have something deeper with Marie. She's talking to Essie, okay? She said, of course I do. She's my sister. Sister, you stay on my mind. Oh, sister. Girl gone, honey. You know. Honey, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I think that Glenn, what's this band's name? I think that Cedric is the beard. Essie's husband is the beard. Honey, bearding everywhere. Allegedly. So then she said, yes, she's my sister. Egypt said, beyond that. She said, oh no, I have a husband. What that mean? What that mean? Child, and the way that they panned over to Cedric and he looked like he was looking like y'all lying, and y'all know I know the truth. So y'all better pay me, honey. Cliff said, you got to choose your husband over anybody, which I totally agree. I feel like Essie was too involved, but they weren't even married. We thought they were married. So if y'all were just boyfriend and girlfriend, go on, Cedric, honey, we'll see you down the street. Egypt said, well, Twitter is asking if you like men, Cedric. Would you like to, I'm sure you've seen it. Would you like to address it? He said, well, I don't even have Twitter, but I don't like men. I like women. Egypt said, oh, okay, well, that's been answered. Then they talked to Letitia about Ferris Street, honey, and her Ferris Street project. Letitia said that Ferris Street was very personal to her, because of her granddad and how he would light up every time he would talk to her about it. Letitia said people from around the world have asked to invest, and Glenn said that he was proud of her. Egypt said, yeah, but you had an issue at first. He said, yes, I did. I had to eat yams out of the can, and I told y'all that she was in there making them glory greens and them canned yams when she had air in there singing, coming out of the closet. Trapped in the closet. Y'all remember I told y'all that them was some canned yams that came out of a can and those glory greens. Child, y'all gonna start listening to me. Egypt asked about the blog and the baby. Letitia said, you know, we already got past that and you can throw the entire relationship away, but I'll go crazy if I lose his friendship. Egypt said, oh, that's beautiful. Cedric gonna say, that ish was beautiful though. Cedric, this is not your segment anymore. Please go, honey. Oh my goodness. Then they talked to Latrice about Cliffarella and if she wants kids. She said, yeah. She said she talked to Cliff about it. And, you know, they asked how they met. She said they met at a bar. And she likes older men. He's 20 years older, has 4 kids. And she likes men that are older than her. And that settles that. Egypt said, well, you called Antoinette. So they did some flashbacks, okay? And they were looking at the shade of it all the shade that's been thrown throughout the season. So she looks at Marie and she said, Marie, you called Antoinette a pup. She said, yeah, she follows. She don't have a mind of her own. Antoinette said, make sure it's Dr. Antoinette whenever you refer to me. Girl, as I said, since when? Marie was like, I ain't got to refer to you as nothing. I'm not going to refer to you as Dr. Nothing. Antoinette said, yes, I'm the only doctor that's on this show. That's all we know. Girl, okay, honey. Child, oh my goodness. Okay, girl. Anyway. Antoinette said a woman without a mind could not have put together a dental practice, going through post-divorce and a pandemic all at the same time and being on a show. So that seems like somebody who has a mind. Antoinette said, well, you know, my shade is light, but Marie's shade is malicious. Where? I don't even really remember Marie just saying too much about you. And if she did, y'all both said equally as ugly things about each other. So Antoinette, girl, be quiet. Egypt said, well, when you did invite Marie to your cleansing sage party ceremony, was that declaring war? Antoinette said, well, the way she talks about me and her energy, would you invite her? Egypt gonna say, no. Egypt, as a host, you shouldn't have answered that, honey. You trying to act so classy and uninvolved. You should have said, well, it wasn't my event, okay? Because, I mean, it's looking real one-sided. I'm feeling like when the left side of the couch gets to piping up, you don't want to hear it, with the exception of Tambria. When Antoinette and Latrice and Kayla and Karen get to speak in their speech, they can say whatever they want. I don't like that. Anyway, Letitia said, well, I was asked by Tambria if I would go to Antoinette's party if I was invited. And I said, first of all, I didn't expect to be invited. Secondly, we're building a friendship, not a friendship. Girl, what? Girl, stop trying to make up words. Stop trying to create new words. Just say frenemy. We're frenemies. We're not actual friends. Girl, you tried to create a new word and you sounded crazy, honey. Egypt was like, a friendship? Girl, shut up. So she said, you know, I'm responsible for the energy that I bring. And I mean, which is true. And Tambria said, you know, they had to pipe over there to Tambria because she hasn't been saying much. So Egypt every now and again has to ask Tambria a question to make sure she's still with us, honey, because she might be over there taking a nap. Tambria said, you know, they don't all have to get along, but I think that they should all respect each other. Letitia said, well, you know, I feel like when a table is prepared for you, you should come to the table with at least a fork. Y'all came to the table with shade. And she was like, y'all was shady as well. So Letitia said, your energy is different when Cliff is here, Latrice. You know, you're all nice and everything, but then when you get with Antoinette, you a mean girl. And I have to agree. And then she said, well, are you team Tisha or are you team Stradler? Latrice said, baby, I'm team me. Oh, child, honey, they fighting. Letitia said, you know what? I have a problem with Antoinette because she flirted with my husband. I don't have a problem with you. Everybody was like, oh, flirted with your husband. Antoinette said, excuse me? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I have never flirted with your husband. Don't accuse me, Letitia. Letitia said, you know what? And Egypt said, well, what happened? She said, I was at the sip and see. And I was waiting in the car for Glenn. And he was taking too long. So I went back in and I saw Antoinette kind of holding his hand. So she was giving him some Hennessy. So she said when he got in the car, she asked Glenn. She said, well, what was that about? And Glenn said, well, I don't know, but it was weird. Glenn, cut it out. And Letitia, let me tell you this, because I've been in that position with a cheater, honey. Anything they do and anybody they interact with, you will assume it's cheating. Because of his history and the fact, not to mention the fact that he got a whole outside baby, allegedly. And then so she was like, and then me and him, you know, there was some major stuff that happened after, aka we had a fight. We fought all night long because I was trying to figure out why he was up here flirting with this heifer. I finally took him somewhere and he's flirting with this girl. That's what happened, honey. Just call it what it is. So she was like, and she was also flirting with Latrice's husband. And so Antoinette was just looking like, oh, really? And so then Latrice said, we was drunk, and sometimes when my husband gets drunk, his words get misconstrued. Ugh, essential, misconstrued, edge Tamar. Oh my gosh. Oh, she said, I asked Antoinette about it, and that was that. I don't think Antoinette flirt with men. Me and my husband both talked to her at the same time, and everything was fine. And so then she said, Latrice, Letitia looked at Latrice. She said, Latrice, are you serious? AKA, you know we talked about this, and you said the same. You felt the same way as me. She was flirting with your man, just like I felt like she was flirting with Glenn. Girl, anyway, so then Antoinette said, I don't drink Hennessy. So I gave it to the people who do. And if I said anything to him about y'all go home and have sex or make a baby, it's because I know you wanted to have another baby. So then Letitia was like, well, okay, we'll just leave that where it is, because you could never come in between my marriage. And then Antoinette was like, I wouldn't want to come in between your marriage. And then Letitia was like, you could never, because my husband just wouldn't allow it. So they basically arguing back and forth. And then they're trying to get it out. This is where the reunion starts to get good. This is the energy that we wanted them to exude throughout the show. Here go Egypt. Coming in and interjecting every time Letitia finally does decide to speak her speech. And she says, well, we're just going to put a pin in that. Okay, so we want to know, what do we have to look forward to? What does the future hold? I'm like, oh my gosh, we was just getting to it. So basically the future holds for Letitia Fair Street, honey. Everybody take a shot next season if they come back every time Letitia says Fair Street. For Tambria, she wants to build a brand. For Marie, she said, I'm going to let God lead me, honey, because these heifers is bringing me down. Antoinette, having mint, dental in other states. And Latrice said, Goddess lengths, and you can get Essential in a store near you. And that concludes my review for the Belle Collective Season 1 Reunion Part 2. I don't know, y'all. Get in the comments and tell me what you think about all this mess. I was so confused about the blogger and the Essential and the cheatation. And these were all things that we should have seen during the season that would have enticed us to come back for a Season 2. But as far as I'm concerned, it was a flop. Thank you so much for listening, and don't hesitate to, like I said, comment, subscribe, and share. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.